Xiaomi 14 Ultra versus the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. Both of these phones are powerhouse the Xiaomi. This is from a year ago and this is the current powerhouse the Xiaomi. Both has really good camera, but sad to say until now wala pa rin Ultra sa Philippines. Buti pa si Xiaomi Nepal may Xiaomi 15 Ultra. Maybe kailangan natin mag-antay ng Xiaomi 20 Ultra bago magkaroon sa Pilipinas. Of course, I'm just being sarcastic. Sana pretty soon. Now in this video, pag-uusapan natin ang differences between these two phones. Ngayon, kamusta namang performance ni 14 Ultra? Is it worth upgrading to the 15 Ultra? Malalaman natin after this quick intro. Now, some quick specs, si Xiaomi 14 Ultra is sporting the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, samantalang si Xiaomi 15 Ultra is using the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Pareho naman silang malakas pa rin for 2025, and a major improvement dito sa 15 Ultra, meron siya 200MP na periscope telephoto lens, pero may advantage pa rin si 14 Ultra, meron siyang variable aperture na wala sa 15 Ultra. Mas malalaki ang battery nito at 6,000 mAh compared sa 5,300 nito, pero pareho naman sila 90 watts sa fast charging, and parehong 80 watts ng wireless charging as well. So tara, pag-usapan natin ng design. So what I have here on my right is the Xiaomi 15 Ultra and on my left is the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. If you take a quick look dito sa kanyang likod, it is very obvious na mas malaki na ang kanyang camera dito sa Xiaomi 15 Ultra. Kapag pinagtabi mo silang dalawa, well, honestly, this one looks a lot bigger. Pareho naman silang China ROM and ibang variant lang nabili ko. This is a ceramic version. This is more of the eco leather finish na two-tone na pinatter after yung camera ni Leica. You'd see the Ultra na logo over here, which is wala na 14 Ultra. And mapapansin mo medyo iba na yung setup ng kanyang mga lenses. Now on the side, it looks identically the same. Kanyang placement ng kanyang volume rocker and kanyang power button. And based sa thickness, medyo mas makapal ng konti si 15 Ultra at 9.4. Ang 14 Ultra is 9.2mm. Now on top, malinis siya sa 15 Ultra and sa 14 Ultra nandiyan pa rin kanyang stereo speakers. And by the way, ang kanyang IR nakatago sa kanyang camera modules. On the other side, looks pretty clean. Halos pareho lang sila. And sa ilalim, it looks quite identically the same. Pero kung tinry mo ang case ni 14 Ultra sa 15 Ultra, for sure, hindi magkakasya. Now, pagdating sa weight, medyo sabigat ng konti ito at 226 grams. This is weighing at around 219 grams. Ang frames niya is parehong aluminum alloy frame, pero medyo iba lang kanyang glass finish. Sa 15 Ultra, they're using Xiaomi Shield Glass 2, and sa 14 Ultra, they're using Xiaomi Shield Glass version 1. Try lang natin kanyang fingerprint scanner. Nagbago siya, no? This one is using optical scanner. So try lang natin responsiveness ng kanyang fingerprint scanner. This one, si 15 Ultra is already using ultrasonic. And ito sa 14 Ultra, it's still using optical. Halos same speed lang naman sila. Pero ang sabi nila mas secure dito sa 15 Ultra. Pareho naman sila IP68 dust and water resistance. Pero warning, wag nyo ibababad to sa swimming pool kung hindi kinakailangan. Pagdating sa display, I would tell you na almost identically the same. 6.73-inch na LTPO AMOLED display meron nila pareho, 120Hz screen refresh rate, and well, halos pareho lang naman ang kanilang specs dito. Except na medyo mas mataas ang maximum brightness ni 15 Ultra at 3,200 nits and 3,000 nits naman sa 14 Ultra. Now, kung nanonood ka naman ng video on both of these phones, sa taas being the 15 Ultra and sa baba being the 14 Ultra, honestly, I could hardly tell the difference between these two. Pero I believe na yung kanyang display panel is exactly the same lang naman. Now, kung shorts naman ang pinag-uusapan natin, well, honestly, pareho lang naman. Same lang naman sila ng smoothness. Wala kang mapapansin na difference naman dito sa dalawa if you're swiping through your favorite social media accounts. Na kung speed test naman pinag-uusapan connected to the same Wi-Fi router, parang mas mataas ang nasasagap ni 15 Ultra as compared sa 14 Ultra. And ang download speed is quite evident sa results. 363 Mbps sa 15 Ultra and 245 sa 14 Ultra. Feel ko mas maganda lang sumagap si 15 Ultra. So right now, what I did is nirun ko sila independently para makita natin no, na walang ibang sumasagap ng internet. Makita natin no, talagang malayo ang kanilang difference. No? 619 halos full speed ng aking subscription and ito 319, just half ng aking subscription. Medyo may kalayuan din ang kanyang upload speed. Now, both of these phones are running Xiaomi HyperOS 2.0 and pareho din silang running on Android version 15. And ang sabi ni Xiaomi, this comes together with 4 major Android updates. Now, if benchmark na pag-uusapan, medyo may kunting kalayuan dahil si 14 Ultra is still using a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, samantala si Xiaomi 15 Ultra is using the Snapdragon 8 Elite. So this is the score using Antutu benchmark version 10.4.5. Medyo mas mababa konti si 14 Ultra dahil medyo low din ng apps, no. I've been using this for almost a year already and running this benchmark test, kaya medyo mas mababa siya. This is the breakdown score. Pero ito yung score na unang kuha ko sa kanya nung bago unbox ko lang, pero version 10.2.1. Mas mataas lang siya ng bahagya. Pag thermals naman pag-uusapan, I was quite surprised na back a year ago na this one walang CPU thermal throttling detected. It's quite a surprise for 8 Gen 3. Samantala si 8 Elite sa 15 Ultra, it throttled to 79% ng kanyang max performance. Sa Wild Dive Extreme, makita natin na mas mataas ang best loop score ni 15 Ultra at 5,700 and 4,800 dito sa 14 Ultra. Ang kanyang stability, mas stable lang si 8 Gen 3 at 82% and si 8 Elite is 76% ang kanyang stability. Ito ang score na kuha natin dito sa Geekbench, saka ng CPU benchmarking, and ito naman kanyang GPU benchmarking. So we see the difference talaga. Now, pagdating sa battery, medyo may kunting kalayuan. Si 15 Ultra has a 6,000 mAh na silicon carbon na battery supporting up to 90 watts na wired charging, 80 watts na wireless charging. Samantalang to si 14 Ultra, it has a 5,300 mAh na battery supporting up to 90 watts na fast charging and 80 watts na wireless charging. So, nirate ko sila out of the box. This is what I got a year ago, 13 hours and a half na screen on time, and this one got me a 20 hours and 46 minutes na screen on time. Now, another difference nila dito is that si 14 Ultra use a Bluetooth 5.4 and si 15 Ultra is now using a Bluetooth 6.0. Pareho naman silang Wi-Fi 7 capable, so wala kang maging problema pagsagap ng internet. Pero pansin ko kanina sa speed test, mas maganda lang pagsagap ni 15 Ultra. Now, pagdating naman sa gaming, wala kang maging problema on both phones. And si 14 Ultra can play all of the titles na gusto natin, like si Wuthering Waves, si Call of Duty Mobile. It can also play Genshin Impact, Farlight 84, Call of Duty Warzone, and many more other titles dahil it's a 8 Gen 3. Samantala si 15 Ultra can also play all of the titles that I mentioned, and both are quite smooth. Siguro, in terms of experience, mas smoother lang magiging experience mo dito sa 15 Ultra, and probably it might be a little bit hotter than the 8 Gen 3. And pagdating naman sa storage, there's a little difference. Si 14 Ultra is using a UFS 4.0. Si 15 Ultra is now using a UFS 4.1. So guys, it's about time na pag-usapan natin ang camera on both phones. Now, si 14 Ultra has a 50MP na main camera sensor with OIS, 50MP na telephoto lens with up to 3.2 times optical zoom, and 50MP na periscope telephoto lens plus a 50MP na ultra-wide lens with 122 degrees na field of view. Pwede ka mag-shoot up to 8K and 30 FPS. Samantalang si 15 Ultra has a 50MP na main camera sensor OIS, 50MP na telephoto lens with up to 3 times optical zoom, 200MP na periscope telephoto lens with up to 4.3 times optical zoom, yun ang kanyang main difference, and a 50MP na ultra-wide shooter with up to 115 degrees na field of view. It can also shoot you up to 8K and 30. Now, pagdating sa front-facing camera, it's almost the same ng laki ng kanyang punch hole. And pareho lang naman sila 32MP, which can shoot up to 4K and 60. Now, before ko pakita sa inyo ang mga camera shots, tingnan nyo guys, yung kanyang pagkaputi ng screen, medyo mas whitish konti si 15 Ultra, and medyo a little bit yellowish ang screen ni 14 Ultra. Now, if you're a pro shooter, one thing na mamimiss mo dito sa 15 Ultra is that hindi mo na makokontrol ang kanyang aperture. Wala siyang variable aperture. Unlike dito sa 14 Ultra, makakalibrate mo pa ang aperture, no? You can play between f1.63 up to f4.0. Samantala dito sa 15 Ultra, wala nang ganong function. And now, let's talk about yung kanyang camera performance. Now, honestly, on a normal shot, you'd see na both shots are looking quite good. And one thing na mapapansin mo dito sa 15 Ultra, based dito sa nakita ko sa screen medyo mas yellowish konti itong nakaka-capture natin sa 14 Ultra. Medyo mas maputi ang attack dito sa 15 Ultra. Both has really good na details, and pag zoom in mo dito sa building na ito, honestly, I could hardly tell the difference. Pero pag tinignan mo naman sa photo na ito, capturing both shots it seems to me na medyo mas faded konti dito sa 15 Ultra as opposed sa 14 Ultra. And pati sa color ng sky, makita mo medyo mas bluish pa dito sa 14 Ultra and medyo mas grayish na dito sa 15 Ultra. Now on this photo, on equal footing, makita natin the difference between these two shots. Medyo mas malinaw ang attack, mas brighter ang capture dito sa 14 Ultra as opposed dito sa 15 Ultra, which is a little bit darker. Pati dito sa dahon na ito, both hindi naman sila saturated. To be honest with you, pero medyo mas madilim na ang capture ni 15 Ultra based sa aking observation. Na pag tinignan naman natin on both of this shot, medyo mas yellowish ka talaga ang attack ni 14 Ultra as opposed dito sa Xiaomi 15 Ultra. And makita naman natin ng details ng mga food na ito. Pareho naman sila maganda ng details, pero pansin ko lang parang medyo mas maganda lang pagka-bokeh ni 15 Ultra. And pag tinignan naman natin both this shot, yung mga inihaw, parang mas maganda pa ang capture konti ni 14 Ultra based sa akin observation Mas maganda ang focus ng 14 Ultra versus sa 15 Ultra. Especially makita mo itong barbecue dito sa ilalim, halos blurred out na si 14 Ultra, sharp pa rin dito sa 14 Ultra. Na pagdating mo sa apparels, you'd see yung linis ng capture ni 15 Ultra, Yung dalagang halos yun yung color na nakita ko. Dalagang maputi itong shoes na ito. Pero pag capture ni 14 Ultra, medyo naninilaw na siya. Mukhang lumang sapatos. Pero pagdating naman dito kay KD, mas maganda ang capture ni 14 Ultra dahil mas vibrant ang tingnan ng kanyang colors. Medyo mas pale lang dito kay 15 Ultra. Equally said din dito sa shot na ito, It seems to me na mas maganda pang capture ni 14 Ultra compared sa 15 Ultra. Parang medyo namumuti sa 15 Ultra. Pero pagdating naman sa outdoor, makita on this boat shot, makita natin na mas maganda ang kunti ang capture ni 15 Ultra. Medyo mas mukhang cinematic siya kunti. Medyo mas maputi nga lang talaga ang capture niya. Pati itong shot na ito, makita rin natin sa shot na ito, medyo mas madilaw konti sa 14 Ultra and mas malinis tingnan dito sa 15 Ultra. So makita natin, medyo iba ang kanyang presets dito. Si 14 Ultra, mas wider ang kanyang field of view. Like I told you, this is a 0.5x na ultra wide. Si Xiaomi 15 Ultra is 0.6. Meron siyang 1 times, 2 times. Ito may 3.2 na siya, nagdiretso na siya dahil sa kanyang optical. And this one is 3 times. Then 5 times sa kanyang next, and this one is a 4.3 times. So let's quickly compare lang both shots dito and looking at the ultra-wide shot. So makita natin na mas wider nga lang talaga ang field of view ni 14 Ultra dahil this one has a 122 degrees of field of view versus sa 115 degrees of field of view dito sa 15 Ultra. So makita natin on the same footing, medyo ibang distance ng both shot. Moving to the one-time zoom, ito mukhang pareho na sila halos. And makita natin na seems to me sa pagdating sa cloud details, medyo mas may detail konti si 15 Ultra. And going for a 2-time zoom, going for a 3-time zoom, going for a 5-time zoom sa 14 Ultra, and going for a 4.3-time zoom dito sa 15 Ultra. Parehong sharp pa rin naman, Now, i-check na natin ang difference nila. This is a 10-time zoom. It seems to me medyo mas sharper konti ang capture ni 14 Ultra. This is a 30-time zoom. This time mas sharper na ang kuha ni 15 Ultra. This is a 60-time zoom. And clearly makita natin na mas sharper na talaga si 15 Ultra. And now going for a 120-time zoom. So clear na mas maganda ang zooming capability ngayon ni 15 Ultra thanks to its AI. Now pagdating mo sa indoor, taking both of this sushi shot, seems to me parang mas masarap lang tingnan itong sa 15 Ultra based sa kanyang color. And pag kumukuha ka naman ng low light shot, di hamang na mas maganda ang output ni 15 Ultra. Kaya ito sa mga simple one shot na ito, makita natin mas litaw sa 15 Ultra. Pagdating sa night photography, I think mas maganda talaga ang output ni 15 Ultra versus sa 14 Ultra. Napag-usapan natin ang kanyang front-facing camera. Now, one of the things na napansin ko dito sa 15 Ultra is that it was able to give me some sharper photos pagdating sa front-facing camera, which I think it has improved over sa 14 Ultra. I have been using this one for almost a year and honestly, hindi ako sobrang satisfied sa front-facing camera ng 14 Ultra. Makita natin on both of this shot, Talagang the details sa 15 Ultra is much more compared sa 14 Ultra. Kahit sa pagkuha ng portrait shot on both of this phone, on the outdoor, honestly, I am in favor dito sa 15 Ultra. Mas magandang pagka-bokeh, mas sharper ang capture sa aking muka. And overall, talaga mas maganda ang 15 Ultra. Pati sa details sa aking damit, makita natin. Na-capturing both of this shot from the indoor, very evident na makita natin na mas maganda talaga ang capture ni 15 Ultra. Na pagsabay natin pinlay both of this video on outdoor taking a selfie video, makita natin no, talagang mas maraming details ka makaka-capture dito sa Xiaomi 15 Ultra as opposed dito sa Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Kahit sa indoor, no, kung medyo mas glary, pareho naman sila medyo nag-glare pang malakas ang ilaw. Pero yung details na nakaka-capture mo sa 15 Ultra is better than the 14 Ultra. Now, side by side on the rear camera, pareho naman silang smooth, no? I could hardly tell the difference between both of them. And honestly, it was able to give me a good 4K and 60 FPS na video. Now, pagdating naman sa indoor, halos equally nice, no? Pero one thing to notice naman dito sa kanya is pagdating dito sa ilaw, no? Parang medyo mas hindi lang na-overexpose ang ilaw dito sa 15 Ultra. Pag pinost natin ganito, itsura na sa ilaw. So guys, nakita nyo na yung differences between these two. There are some advantages na meron si Xiaomi 15 Ultra, but there are still some advantages na meron si 14 Ultra. If you're the type of person na okay lang na walang 200MP na periscope telephoto lens, pero meron pa rin siya variable aperture, I think the 14 Ultra is still a good choice. Marami pa rin ako nakuha good photos dito sa 14 Ultra. It has been with me for a year already. And this has been with me for almost 2 weeks. Pero marami rin ako nakuha good photos dito sa 15 Ultra. One good thing na gusto ko dito is that it has improved sa kanyang front-facing camera, which I definitely appreciate. Pareho naman powerhouse pagdating sa gaming. Halos di mo na mararamdaman yung differences nilang dalawa. Pero pagdating sa battery life, mas matagal talaga di hamak ito. And kung meron kang camera kit ni 14 Ultra, pwede mo carry over dito except na medyo umaalog lang kasi iba ang kanyang sizing ng case. But it's still working. So ano guys, upgrade or no upgrade? Let me know in the comments. Pero kung wala ka pa naman both devices and looking to buy one, I would suggest the 15 Ultra na kunin mo. But if you have the 14 Ultra, I think you can still stick with this device and probably wait for the 16 Ultra to come out. Baka mas malaki na lundag nun. Na kung gusto nyo malaman kung saan pwede bumili nito both devices, I'll post it on the description box below. And if you like this video, don't forget to share it to your friends. And a quick sub sa aking channel is definitely awesome. I'll see you in my next video. And so, ako para si Richmond and you're watching Gadget Sidekick. What's up? Like and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. For one of my latest uploads, click the dito. And for one of my popular uploads, click here.